Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So let's move on to electoral innovations, right, which are somewhat unique to Singapore. And I think you are the perfect person to talk to about this. So the NCMP. So as I understand it, you are in principle opposed to the NCMP, right?
We are. We don't think the NCMPs are necessary. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So why does WP oppose the NCMP when clearly the biggest benefit? Why do you still oppose the NCMP scheme? Because clearly the biggest beneficiaries of the NCMP scheme is your party. People like yourself and Ms. Sylvia Lim and Mr. Leon Pereira have clearly benefited from the scheme. And also your concerns about dissuading voters from voting for the opposition clearly have not panned out. So why is the WP still against the NCMP scheme in principle?
Yeah. Well, I think I would flip it around the other way. I would say that we have made electoral progress despite the NCMP scheme. Not because it was fantastic, but really because the NCMP scheme has a potentially insidious effect of lulling people into thinking that they can have opposition MPs without voting for the opposition. I think that's the most dangerous mindset or fear that we have, that the electorate might have. And although the results sort of indicate that many voters did not think that way, the fact that the PAP was campaigning quite heavily on the idea of NCMPs and there's no need to vote for the opposition, I think they have clearly done their research, they've clearly done their surveys, and have clearly concluded that something that could sway swing voters at least into voting for the government because they think that they will be adequately represented in Parliament by NCMPs. And all the innovations that the government did just in the last term, giving a full voting rights, it's, although it doesn't make a dime of difference actually in terms of the power of the NCMPs or the influence of the NCMPs. Actually, it kind of tells the voters that, hey, by not voting for them, you can still get your cake and eat it too. And that that's clearly not the case for Singapore. And that's something that we had to expend a lot of time trying to explain to people that wasn't the case. So I think I wouldn't say that we have been the beneficiary of this, but despite the scheme being there, I think we still made some progress, and really all credit goes to the voters, especially in Aljunied and Sengkang and Hougang, who have decided that they want to see an elected officer.
Right. So, but it did, and you're right that the PAP campaign on that, and it was clear that was going to be one of the main selling points in their campaign, but it didn't work, right? So now you would be more receptive, or you would be more accepting of the NCMP scheme, knowing that Singaporeans do not buy that, and yet there is a fallback for opposition MPs.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't say it didn't. Yeah. I wouldn't say it didn't work. We didn't manage to sweep all 12 seats. We still only had 10 seats, and the PSP was not able to get over that 2 or 3% more to be able to get elected in Parliament, and they had to settle for NCMPs as well. So I wouldn't say it didn't work for the PAP, clearly not all the voters in West Coast and the other competitive constituencies felt that they wanted elected opposition MPs in Parliament.
Okay, thanks for that. Especially as a former NCMP yourself, I think you are quite qualified to give a take on that.